Hello, Reds, and welcome back to Liverpool Latest. I should say specifically Liverpool Reds because today is a rivalry game and we are facing Man United. I'll get to that in a few minutes, but first let's talk about some news outside of today's game. Apparently, and this just came across my feed, this was reported earlier today, could be a rumor, could be legit, we don't know for a fact yet. It seems as though Liverpool are identifying a new left back target in the case of Daniel Svensson from Dortmund. Now, it's quite surprising to me that they are considering another left back target, especially with the potential replacement for the departing Andy Robertson. I say that because we already have Kirkes in that position. Now, I'm not sure how well adept we are as far as the back end, the backups for Kirkes, because it seems like Kirkes is going to be the main guy going forward. So unless we don't have any depth behind him, I can see why that they are trying to make this push. That said, as far as Svensson goes, the estimated fee from what is being rumored is between 40 and 45 million euros, or at most 39 million pounds if we're converting it to British currency. Any sort of wage demands would probably be around 83k to 100k per week, and again, that is in British pounds. So the thing about this is, which is crazy to me, is this might be the most competition we have seen for a player in the long list of players I have talked about the last couple of months. Premier League interest alone, Svensson is seeing interest not only from us, but from Arsenal and from Leeds. Now, I can see Arsenal totally picking him up if they had the opportunity to. Leeds is quite shocking because I'm actually surprised they have the money to pick up anybody, especially pay those kinds of wages. In Serie A, though, they have 3 teams that are looking to pick up Svensson. Inter Milan, which seems to be the strongest interest, AC Milan, and last but not least, Atalanta. So this is being described as a true transfer war for just one left back. Which, if you can believe that, that's incredibly nuts, if you ask me. As far as his player profile, per the articles I've been reading, he is 24 years of age. Internationally has 11 caps for Sweden. He has his key traits as far as his play style. He's a very strong pressing ability, great tactical flexibility, and of course physically suited, some may say, for the Premier League and what is required of it. So as far as Liverpool, he is a perfect stylistic and potentially physical fit for their system. So Svensson has reportedly been keen on joining the Premier League and moving on to there, but he's also so that alone has Liverpool over an advantage over the Serie A clubs. That said, we're also tracking a bunch of other players to sign. So again, Diamande has been one I've been constantly talking about. Elise, Barcola, the likes of, we have multiple options for there. But this is like the first, at least in a while, that I've talked about true, like, left back specific option. And honestly, if if he's as good as advertised, I would think that Svensson could potentially be signed. The worst case scenario as far as squad impact, though, is that he'd be competing for Kirkes, who has been doing a pretty solid job. I'm not going to say he's been doing stellar, right? He's probably one of the more improved players that we have picked up this season. And I think the fact that if we pick up Svensson and now it's competing for starting minutes, I feel like Kirkes might take that a certain way, considering that he's already been doing his best to learn under Andy Robertson. And I think he has that advantage going for him. To be fair, though, I'm just not entirely sure how this is going to go. Based on what I've been reading about the guy, could potentially be a pretty solid pickup. Do I expect us to get him? No. But on paper, as I always say, pretty good stylistic match for us. It's just a matter of Liverpool want to put out an offer, and if they're willing to pay that amount of money to pick him up. We'll have to see where we go from there. But I am definitely, the worry I have is, again, is Kirkez not fully trusted in the sense where we actually need to pick up another left back to begin with. So that is something that we need to keep an eye on, as well as the other transfer names that have been thrown around for us, and how high is Svensson on the list of people that we need to pick up and sign to a deal in the summer. As we move on, I'd like to talk about a few other things here. From this point forward, it's going to be strictly talking about the Man United game, which will probably be already underway when this video gets uploaded. So I'm hoping that my friends over at FanArc can get this out to you sooner rather than later. But by the time this video does get uploaded, the 20th minute tribute would have already taken place at Old Trafford. It seems as though United fans are being encouraged by their club, United, to join Liverpool supporters who are coming to visit in the 20th minute tribute in regards to chanting Diogo Jota's name and his chant every time he would be on the field for us. It seems as though, which is nice because this has been a constant tribute that has been ongoing throughout the entirety of the season. If there's anything I enjoy watching about a Liverpool game nowadays, it is the 20th minute tribute when Diogo Jota's name is being called and the fans sing the chant. And I silently sing it to myself while I'm watching the game, as it is probably the one few thing that makes me smile and a little bit emotional for good reasons and bad during the course of a game. So I will also say, Andre Silva, Diogo's brother, his birthday, I think, was this past week or something. And I feel like Andre's name doesn't get mentioned enough in this tragedy because obviously him being a Liverpool player, Diogo, everyone's going to focus on him. I think Andre's name has kind of been put on the back burner. We have to remember that his name was also part of the list of casualties that took place on that fatal day. And a very happy belated birthday in heaven to Andre Silva. We love you guys, truthfully. I'm getting a little bit emotional talking about it, but I'm glad that United supporters are being a part of this trend, and that, as much hatred as there is between Man United and Liverpool, I am glad that there is at least a little bit of respect for each other to go and, support us in this, this tribute to Jota and his legacy, but not at Liverpool and his family. So this is a very strong message of unity that I don't think many fans really take into account sometimes. So I think that reading this, I got a little emotional. I am actually a little bit emotional now. It's still tough for me personally with Diogo Jota being gone, as he was probably one of my favorite players on the team next to Salah. So it's nice that a club that I hate, excuse me, God, a club that I absolutely hate in United is actually going out of their way to do such a nice gesture. And it goes to show that all club rivalry hatred is just that, superficial. At the end of the day, we're all football fans. So once a team is hit by tragedy, all the clubs have been doing their best to step in and show their support, which has been very nice, if I say so myself. If we go into the actual game portion of this video, as far as team news goes, there's a bit of uncertainty, okay? Alisson Becker is still recovering from injury and is being assessed. Amardashvili, also injured. No idea if he's actually playing or not. It seems as though Freddie Woodman gets a very marquee performance start, or should I say marquee appearance against a very long-standing rival. And if you ask me, as good as Freddie Woodman was against Crystal Palace, and he was very good, and his sole goal that he conceded was not his fault, this is going to be a true test to see if we can trust Woodman going forward. This is going to be the game that we focus on. This is going to be the microscope that we look at, or that we look into, when we see just how good Freddie Woodman truly is against the likes of a hated rival in Man United. As far as the defensive concerns go, Kirkez has been monitored for fitness issues that he has been suffering over the course of the week. It seems like that is going to be something we need to pay attention to in our own right. I don't think Kirkez will start as a result of this. I believe Andy Robertson will probably end up starting in this match because of this Kirkez development here, which is the first time hearing about it. I did not hear that Kirkez was injured in any way, shape, and form. I think he picked up the injury in training, mind you. So, which is weird because I feel like a lot of these injuries are kind of occurring sort of like in training. And I'm not sure what the fuck Slot is having these guys do that they're getting hurt in training, but, in a season where we can't afford to lose any more players, or else we might as well pick out supporters from the seats to start for us at this rate. I don't know what we're doing in training at this rate that is causing injuries. So maybe he pulled a muscle, maybe it's just something minor, but I am a little bit of weary as to what's going on with Kirkez specifically. As far as the goalkeeping situation goes, well, that's going to be what it's going to be. I would rather take Woodman over Mamardashvili at this rate. I said this before in last week's game. I'll say it again. I can't trust Mamardashvili as far as he can throw or kick a ball, and that's a very long way. He's good at that. But at the same time, I also can't really trust Alisson Becker really either, because he's been very inconsistent in his own right this season with the injuries and how he's played in goal. So, like I said, this is going to be the game that makes or breaks Freddie Woodman in the eyes of Liverpool supporters, if you ask me. Now, let's talk about the Battle of the Reds, shall we? What do I think about this match? How do I feel that this is going to go? Surprisingly enough, despite all the controversy that Man United have had in their own right, with managers being fired and whatnot, having slow starts to the season, if it's one thing that they have been doing very well, it's beating us in every way, shape, and form. I know this because my friend Mike, who is a longtime United fan, constantly clowns me in the matter every time United win or Liverpool lose a match, because as a newer football fan in myself, he is trying to prove a point that I don't know shit, and in some cases I don't, but in this case, I am hoping for a win, but I know for a fact that this win is not going to come without struggle. United have been doing very well this season. There's a reason why they're like third or second or third in the league. I think they're third. City is in second. But I sit here and worry a little bit with how we're going to play, because the last time we played them back in October, that was probably one of the most abysmal performances we could have had, and probably one of the most abysmal performances in a long time against United that I have seen. And there have been few that I have seen. I gotta be honest here. Not having Salah start this match is going to be an absolute heartbreaker for us. I don't really know what we're going to be like in the attack situation without Salah. Salah, as we all well know, batters United for the last several years. He scored like 18 goals total against United in his, tenure here at Liverpool. And I am not sure how this is going to go without him. I worry about the attack. I worry about the creativity from the midfield going into the attack. I worry if the defense is going to hold up as well as we can only hope. And I'll get to my starting 11 in a second here, but it seems like Liverpool have their own boost with injury as Mateus Cunha is returning and that would add just another direct outlet for counters when it comes to their attack and their press. So it seems like the obvious problem that United's going to probably capitalize on will be Salah's non non-appearance. So it's gonna be a lot of decisive battles out there. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a battle of wills. I do not see this game ending in a Liverpool win, frankly, with you. I believe that because United have been doing quite well at Old Trafford this season, we will most likely see either a draw or a very likely win from United. And that would suck to get beat by United twice in one season, but I would like this to go 1-1. But I don't see that happening. I don't see us having the personnel for it. I don't see us having the fitness for it. I believe that in big games like this, the club deliberately plays like garbage for some reason to probably get Slot fired. That's a conspiracy theory, I know. But it seems like every time we play against a bigger or equal-sized club, we sit here and we sit on our hands and do nothing and don't do absolutely jack shit, frankly. We do jack shit in these cases. So I sit here and I worry with that case because it's just going to be something that's a concern for me. And it happened in the last game when we faced them back in October. I have no doubt that we are going to struggle here at their home stadium, Old Trafford, this game as well. What's my starting 11 look like, you might ask? Well, like I said, Freddie Woodman probably going to start in net. I think that's a given. Hopefully will be a statement performance from him. If it's anybody that could save us from a loss against United today, it's going to be Freddie Woodman. Not Mamardashvili, not Alisson Becker, Freddie Woodman. That performance against Crystal Palace, a very good Crystal Palace team, mind you. They played very well. If he can keep up that performance, that's going to be the make or break for this for me. Defense, Frimpong, Van Dijk, Konate, and Robertson, I think should all be, without a shadow of a doubt, considered for the back four. The midfield is going to be a little bit more of a iffy issue for me. As far as defensive midfield, McAllister's probably going to be playing. I expect him to start. Dominic Szoboszlai should start in midfield. I don't want to see him at the right back position. We need Szoboszlai in the midfield this time around. The left midfield is going to be kind of a toss-up for me. I would prefer Florian Wirtz because he's been kind of coming back into it as far as getting on a roll again. But I would not be angry with the idea of Curtis Jones in that position either, especially if we're all thinking that Curtis Jones is going to be gone by the end of the season too. We might as well throw him out there and have him show out a little bit. Maybe we can get some good money for him, but I would prefer Wirtz as I think he'll have a little bit more creativity for us when it comes to the front three. The front three, that is where I kind of wonder a little bit. Now, for the right wing, you can throw anybody in there, to be honest. I am going with Federico Chiesa. I know it's not a very popular decision, but I think Chiesa could do a pretty solid job if we decide to go that route. The striker position, the number one out in front there, I'm going to go with Isak. I think as much as I hate the idea of Isak starting, give him a first half performance, see how it goes. I believe that maybe something could happen. He's probably going to be he's probably one of the best guys we can possibly have right now. Might as well throw him out there. I would put Rio out in there too in the front three, but I just don't know if I think this game's a little bit too big to throw Rio in there. I believe he'll substitute at some point, but I definitely don't think he's going to start, personally speaking. And, well, the left wing, I think I have no choice but to throw Cody Gakpo. Ekitike being injured has really put a damper on our attack line, to be honest with you, our forwards. We would be remiss. I would be remiss if I said that Cody Gakpo doesn't start the rest of the season because of Ekitike's absence. But that is my starting 11. So, with that said, the game's still going on by the time this video gets uploaded. I hope I'm wrong in a lot of things I have to say in regards to how I think this game is going to go down. If this game is a loss, I fear the backlash online of what's going to happen, because I know I cannot fathom 2 losses in this season for from United, mostly because I'll be clowned by my buddy Mike. For longer tenured fans who hate United as much as I do, if not more so, I can only imagine their heads will explode at the result of a potential loss here. We're just going to have to see what happens. Thank you for joining Liverpool Latest today. Leave a like if you enjoy, comment your thoughts. Most importantly, subscribe to never miss an upload. I appreciate you being here. So, what are you waiting for? Join the Liverpool Latest family. When you do, you never walk alone. I'll see you guys on the next one.